るから、本日はこれは
Thank you very much for having us.
本社のサービスと技術についていろいろとお話をさせていただき、伺いたいと思いますので、よろしくお願いいたします。
So we're very much interested in understanding about your services and technologies, and look forward to this session today.
Great, thank you very much.
But what if capturing more ideas was convenient and easy? Scripter. Make things easy. With Scripter, record notes on the fly. Start or stop a recording with the press of the button. It's easy. Highly sensitivity mic with human ear accuracy for capturing speech. Anywhere, anytime. Scripter is the new, improved way to record your ideas and plan your projects. Safely store your notes. Access and edit when you want. Become the future with Scripter. Cut the cord and free yourself of internet. The battery lasts up to 8 hours or 2 weeks on standby. Sturdy and waterproof, no keys, no screens, hands-free. All this makes Scripter the #1.
Okay, so I'm going to start off again. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you, and thank you in advance for your time and consideration. I'm going to pause periodically to give you time so that you can translate, because I realize how difficult that was. So, as I said, my name is Zarita Finless, and I am the CMO, and Angel Randia is our CEO. So let's go ahead and get started, and let me share something that I'm very excited about, Senstone. So first of all, I think as we saw in the video, we're all living very busy multitasking lives. Professionals actually spend only about 10 minutes on each task before they get interrupted. And I think everybody here is probably testament to that. And even more importantly is, since 60% of what we learn, we forget in about 20 minutes, this can be a catastrophe. 28% of people actually forget to respond to text messages that they receive, while another 32% of people have actually forgotten to respond to emails, and this is all based on studies that have been conducted. So what is the problem? Why is this happening? The problem is that 82% of people don't use a time or a task management system. In both the personal and professional spheres, forgetting, it's not only embarrassing, it's costly. So the solution is keep your best ideas. And how do you do this? A personal and professional assistant ready to go with you everywhere at any time. A hands-free device that's flawless, transcribe ideas in text into text. Our contextually aware AI systemizes information into our proprietary app or any of your own apps such as iCloud, Gmail, Google Calendar, and OneNote. So what makes this different from other devices, right? That one, you have AI integration. Two, there's no screen. And a lot of people today, the average person spends about 7 hours looking at a screen. It's very simple. No screen, it doesn't distract you. And lastly, it's a standalone, it's a standalone device that with the push of one button you can use. So it's standalone, no connection required. So if I'm out, I don't have my phone, or I don't want to take out my phone, I could press the button and use it wherever I'm at. It helps me remember ideas, cherish special occasions without needing to take out another phone or my phone or another device. It could document anything that I'm doing at any given time. So how do we use this device? What are some use cases? On our next slide, you're going to see it's very useful for different professions, and even as I heard a lot of the people in here. For example, sales professionals. For those of you who have or relate to other sales professionals, when they go to meetings, they want to be able to flawlessly capture those notes and really understand the customer's needs. And most importantly, make sure you schedule those follow-up meetings to make the sale at the end of the day. Executive and managers as yourselves as well could use this device because, as we talked about earlier, interruptions are constant, especially the higher you are in an organization. So making sure that you're able to have your to-do list, your reminders, and not have to worry about forgetting those other tasks that you need to get done. Doctors and nurses is another very good case study. With Senstone scripters, not only do you do the documentation from your appointments, but it's also a great routing solution for electronic medical records. Creators and designers, or even influencers, as we see them out there so prominently now, be able to jot down ideas. You know, they're on the train, they're going somewhere, as opposed to reach into their bag, look for a device to record. They could just press the button, capture that idea anywhere, anytime. So as I just highlighted, these are very broad overview of some use cases. However, Angel, would you like to share a specific use case that we have right now?
So as the slide indicates here, we have integration capabilities. So one of the integrations that we've done is with Epic. In a hospital group in Houston where we've run some tests, the doctors have come back and told us that when they are interfacing with patients, because what they used to do is there was a computer in the exam room. So when the patient would be sitting, the doctor would be looking at the screen talking to the patient, right? So taking notes while they're talking to the patient. Now they walk in the room, they push the button, they start taking notes. There's two aspects of that are very important. One is the doctors have told us that from the patient's perspective, and this is a quote from one of the patients, is that time multiplies when they're talking to them. They're still spending the same amount of time with the patient, but from the patient's perspective, it feels like they're spending a lot more time with them. And from the doctors and nurses' perspective, when they're using the device, we've consistently heard that they're saving a lot of time. So from doctors, what they used to do is once they met with the patient, they would go back to their office. They would use a system, almost all of them were using a system called Dragon by Nuance to kind of transcribe their notes, but it was the dictation sort of software. That has been eliminated because now the device captures all the information and translates it directly into their Epic system. So it's right into their medical records. The doctor doesn't have to go and take additional notes, or the nurse. It's saving, on average, nurses 2 hours at the end of their shift from having to take the notes from all the patients they met that day, because the notes are already in the system by the time the nurse ends her shift. The other use case where we've had some pretty good feedback from the users is the United Airline mechanics are using this when they work on the planes. They have a shop in Brazil where all the planes are maintained. Major maintenance gets sent to Brazil. The mechanics are telling us that now it's simplified their life because when they're inside of the plane, they're in really tight quarters. It's very hard for them to take notes or type anything. So they can just turn the device on as they're doing their work. When they walk out of the plane, they turn it off, and then all of their notes have been transcribed. Or better yet, while they're in the plane, they can start transcribing. Somebody else can be outside of the plane seeing what they're saying, get them the parts, get them the tools, get them whatever they need, so they don't have to get all the way out of the plane to get those things. They can start feeding them into the workers as they're still inside working on the plane in very tight quarters. So there's a couple of the use cases. We have others.
Perfect. Thank you, Angel. I think now what we're going to do is we're going to, so keep in mind that everybody will get a copy of this presentation.
このプレゼンのコピーを差し上げます。共有させていただきます。
What we're going to do is we're going to show you a video that actually demonstrates how to use it, and then we're going to hopefully have you guys actually try it with us.
In this presentation, we will show how Senstone seamlessly captures the notes, how it recognizes private places, private people's names, and how it does help you with your everyday work. So let's dive right in. The first thing you want to do is, of course, download the Senstone app, which is now available in the Google Play and App Store. Next thing you want to do, you want to check the device itself is connected and its battery level. We, of course, advise that it's fully charged.
Okay, just keep playing.
Just keep playing.
Once you first use it. So let's create our first note. Hashtag message, hashtag conference. So let's meet together before the conference at the Harbor Port Hotel at 8:30. New paragraph. Would you like to meet my colleague Janie Huang and have a dinner together? Let me know. So this is our first note. It's usually, so this one is approximately 20 seconds long, and to have a speech processed, it will take 5 to 10 seconds. So also, as you can see, it has a little hashtag is the title. Also, when we go inside, we can see that it correctly recognized the private place, the private name, and it created the paragraph just as I asked. It's already speech processed, and what I would like to highlight is that Senstone created the automatic title. It's very convenient because you don't have to do anything, but you will have your notes a bit more organized. Little magic button that will actually enhance the grammar of your note. Next thing I want to show you is the two very important sections on our app. It's the to-do and the reminder sections. So how do you get your notes over there? In order to do that, you use the keywords. Senstone now has the growing number of keywords in both English and Japanese. If you would like to create the to-do item, just say to-do or follow-up. If you would like to create the reminder, say reminder and follow with your note.
So it's also one very interesting thing that she just kind of mentioned and it kind of glossed over. We sold 10,000 units of the Gen 1 device, the predecessor to this device. Over 9,000 of those were sold in Japan. So of the new generation of devices, we pre-sold, while we're still building them, we pre-sold 2,500 units. Over 1,800 of those were purchased in Japan.
Remind me to congratulate my mom tomorrow at 8:30 for her birthday. And let's wait. And as you can see, the note is being created. And now I have a little one at my reminder section. And you can see that it created the reminder and it has a little bell sign next to it saying it's a reminder. And it will be in the down note section, which is available at the profile. Thank you for joining us at our demo. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye!
So before we jump into the show and tell, do you guys have any questions?
So I have two questions. First question is you told us for Gen 1 you sold 9,000 units in Japan.
Correct.
And so were there for the medical use, doctors?
Not exclusively. Some doctors, but in Japan we got, I would say the majority of people who bought the device so far have been doctors and nurses, just overall. In Japan, that statistic still holds. It's mostly doctors, but we have a fair number of creators in Japan that are also using the device.
Now, well, there's an input. You feed in the information, right? I mean, they will transcribe, and then there is an AI processing, and then you'll have output. My question is, what kind of processing does the AI perform here?
So there's multiple AIs in the system. There's a very lightweight AI that sits in the device itself that helps with some of the data cleanup, so we don't send raw data across because it takes too long to get through. There's also 3 layers of natural language processing that take place. There's some more, so maybe translate that part. And then there's the AI that actually resides in the cloud that does the final processing. That's where the natural language gets processed, the contextual awareness comes from, and where the integrations with other applications are conducted.
I see on your website that there's 17 languages like detectable for now.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why Japan was such like a huge market for you? Is it because you focus on this market, or is there some kind of like I don't know, national traits that the Japanese tend to buy more of this product?
I wish I knew the answer to that. We marketed globally for when we launched the product, and it just so happened that our sales came from Japan, but we didn't do anything special for the Japanese market yet. The one thing that we've done, because we got so much interest from Japan, is change some of our packaging so it's in Japanese. But that came after we got the customer success.
So you mentioned that you could integrate with the other applications like Google Calendars and whatnot. But if Daiichi Life decides to develop an application, would it be able to integrate with our own application?
Absolutely. If you have an API, we can interface with your API, or you can interface with ours. So we can do it either way. If there's no more questions, then we can do some tests. If anybody wants to.
Let's do some demos.
実際に
Anybody wants to
試してみたいっていう方。
try it?